Guys, good morning. So yeah, it's 11 almost a.m. 11 a.m. for me. So that's why I'm saying good morning, and it could be different for you guys. So good night, good evening, good afternoon, everything okay. So yesterday I did the second part of Crybaby, Taehyung fanfic, and I covered third, fourth, and fifth chapter in it, and it I think it's going well. So, and I asked you guys that if you want me to continue chapter 6, and you guys agreed. So here I am today doing the chapter 6, and let's see how many chapters we can cover in this part. So yes, and let's recap what happened. So yesterday Soeun met Taehyung for the first time, and they met on the rooftop where Soeun was crying and Taehyung was trying to rest there, but he got disturbed because Soeun was crying because of her detention and how she got bullied by Jackson. So yes, and after that, they met again when Soeun accidentally bumped into Taeyong and spilled her ice cream, or I don't know. The ice cream got on his shirt. So that was their second meeting, and there is also Jimin. He has a funny character there, and he's kind of a flirty guy. We found out that he is like cold-hearted person. He doesn't like meeting girls because they are annoying. On the other hand, there is Jimin, who is a playboy, and he keeps dating girls and stuff like that, and he's also rich. And we also got to see other members where they were practicing. They had a band together. So yes, now we're gonna continue this. Okay, yeah, one more thing, like yesterday when I did live, it was having really problems with my voice. There was some kind of irritating sound coming, so I'm not sure, but if you guys hear it again, then please tell me. I don't know how to put my phone in a way that it doesn't you know make that glitching sound, anything like that. So I don't know what should I do. Maybe I should try holding this phone on in my hand. Maybe that will work. Okay. So let me start reading chapter 6. Holy crap. Holy freaking crap. Okay. One more thing. I mean, this fanfic kind of have curse words that I didn't expect it, but it does. And I'm actually reading fanfic for the first time. So this is my first fanfic, okay? Wattpad fanfic. So this is my first time, and I thought it was a fluff, kind of cute, but it's not exactly like that. So yes. What is the warning? Yes. That's all Taehyung and Jimin could say right now. I told you to wake me up, Tae, Jimin whined as he wore his school pants while trying to maintain his balance. Since when did I become your mother? And where is your since when did I become your mother, and where is your uncle? Ah, ah, I can't say this. Clock. Okay, see. English is not my first language, and these days I can't speak. Okay, the problem with me is I don't speak at all because I'm introvert, and because of that I developed more issues with my speaking. So I hope this reading fanfic out loud will help me fix my speaking skills, pronunciations. I hope. This is the first time I'm realizing this. It wasn't planned, okay? I'm not, I wasn't going to read fanfics because I wanted to improve my speaking, but if it works, then it's cool, yeah? So, yeah, let me. Taehyung said as he wore his school uniform. Well, his spare ones. He always have one in Jimin's house. Kim Taehyung was not that dirty until he used the same school uniform for 2 days. Huh? It's broken, okay? Jimin said as he was working on his tie. Why did the maids had a day off today again? He asked himself, grown in despair. Jimin looks like he's completely spoiled kid. They were late for school, as in very late. Wait, they live together? Are they living in the same house? Like, do they stay together or they are staying together in their parents' house? I don't know. They were running for their lives to be saved from the deadly, scary teacher, Mr. Huang. Mr. Huang was the deadly, scary teacher. He always got a long ruler with him, and his body was large. His looks are intimidating. Being late to his class was the last thing that they could ever ask for. Shit, 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 Jimin muttered. He looked at his luxury watch. We are so late. Jimin ran and Taehyung followed him. Stop! Taehyung was running as if he was in a marathon together with Jimin when he heard someone yell with a weak voice. Stop it! Let me go! Okay, so this wasn't Taehyung, but I think this is Soeun. Taehyung was sure it was a girl's voice. The voice sounds oddly familiar. His feet carried him to follow his voice, but Jimin was fast to stop by him, grabbing his arm. Where are you going, Tae? He asked with a questioning tone. They really need to go to class right now. Moreover, it was Mr. Wang's class. We have to hurry if we don't want to get killed, Taehyung. Jimin panicked. Let's just say that Jimin had traumatic moments with this teacher. Once he gave Jimin an 8 hours of detention. Oh my god. After school, and damn, he had to rewrite 15 papers of essay. This is oh my god. Long story short, Mr. Wang is crazy. Yes, he is crazy. Who gives this type of 15 papers of essay? This is too much. Taehyung was about to go, but he can't seem to move his feet. Jimina, I'm sorry, but I need to go somewhere. He groaned and rushed to the sound of the voice he heard just now. To where? Jimin screamed, but Taehyung was already far. Taehyung saw the girl was blocked by Jackson. She looked scared. His feet was trying to bring himself to help her, but the ground seemed to be trapped him. How? His legs can't seem to move. His eyes widened as how Jackson blocking the girl's path and threw her things on the ground. It's the girl from the yesterday that gave me ice cream, Taehyung said in his mind. Milliseconds after that, he blinked and frowned at himself. I really should go. But he couldn't move, and then Soeun let out a sob. After Jackson left, Taehyung saw Soeun cry. He didn't know why. After he saw her crying, his legs moved by his own. Wait, okay, guys. Why is he not going there to save her? He should. I mean, what's stopping him? Does he also have some trauma or something? Or he was just not going to save her because she spilled ice cream on him yesterday? That's like, uh. Taehyung crouched down to pick up Sion's stuff. Sion gasped when she saw him. Kim Taehyung! Sion sniffed and Taehyung didn't look at her. He just continued picking up her things and put it inside her bag. Taehyung picked Sion up and gave her bag to her. Taehyung's hands went to his pockets and he gave her an ointment. Take. Taehyung grabbed Sion's hand and gave her an ointment and then he left. Wow, he carries ointment with himself. That's nobody carries ointment with them in school. I mean, that's rare. Look who's late. It's the band boys member Kim Taehyung and Park Jimin. Are you late because you are busy practicing? Mr. Wang asked mockingly, making the two mentally roll their eyes. They were rolling their eyes mentally. Why? Jimin started, but Mr. Wang beat him to it. Just go and sit down, boys. I'm too lazy to even argue with you two. Mr. Wang scratched his hair, clearly frustrated with them. Mr. Wang continued teaching them. Jimin was sleeping, while still shocked by Mr. Wang didn't give them any detention. Okay, now he's like worried why didn't the teacher give them detention, and he's sleeping because he's worried. Oh, I also sleep when I'm worried. Like it's like depressing. And Kim Taehyung was looking the window. Taehyung wasn't interested in maths. Who would though? Yeah, I wasn't even interested in maths. There are some subjects like trigonometry. Rather than that, algebra, not my thing. Okay. Suddenly, there is a knock at the door, making Mr. Wang blood boiling up. But today he was really not in the mood to scream at any students, so he just turned at the door. Yes, and why are you late? Mr. Wang faked his tone, making it sickeningly sweet. Soeun closed her eyes, waiting to get yelled, but when Mr. Wang didn't scream, she opened her eyes. Hearing the teacher's tone, Soeun could feel chills on her spine. The way Mr. Wang was not acting is unusual. Means how the as he regularly acts, he was not acting like that. This is what making everyone worried. I mean that's true. If some like some bad person, the person we have like bad image, and they they suddenly starts to act like good person, then we are like, what is going to come next? Something is going to happen, like something is bad. Are they planning something inside the head? Something like that. uh I'm sorry, My, I mean, I forgot my books at my house, so I have to go and take it back. Soeun lied, hoping that the teacher won't get mad at her. Taehyung ears perked at Soeun's voice. He removed his gaze from the window and looked at Soeun for a bit. That's a lie. You got beat up, Taehyung thought, sighing as he continued looking outside the window. Mr. Wang sighed. Just go and sit down. He wasn't even looking at Sion's face. One thing, guys, why don't these teachers look at their students' faces? This is this is so wrong. I mean, you know, face is the window, guys. You can understand anyone's feelings, what they are going through by looking at the face. If this teachers just look at the student, they will find out like how terribly, how horribly they've been bullied. Shit, this teacher has to really look at their faces. Okay, where was I? He wasn't even looking at Sion's face when he said that. Sion bowed at him and went to her seat. Sion sat alone at the back. She has no seatmate. That's so sad. She was glad because she was never the social type and she was completely fine with that. Well, yes, it doesn't matter that much, but I think sometimes you just need someone to talk. I mean, if you are not talking to them, like being an introvert person, even if I'm not talking to anyone, I will like if someone talks to me or just exist next to me. Yeah, just exist next to me. That's what I enjoy. I enjoy the company. You don't have to actually talk to me, or just sit there, sit next to me. That's enough. Okay, but sometimes Sion can't help but think that was the reason why she was picked on by others. After she sat down, she immediately hugged her stomach. Oh my god, I just did he kick her again? Jackson always aimed her stomach, kicking it, punching it, hitting it. Sion was like his punching bag. So pathetic. Why would he why would he why would he target? Oh my god, yes, because that's where you can't see the wounds. He is punching her in the stomach, kicking her, hitting her because no one can see the wounds, no one can see the bruises. Yes. Ah. Jackson's voice ringed in Sion's head. Her mood went downhill again. Her emotions were so hurt. Her body was hurt. She was hurt, both physically and mentally. Her stomach, Sion moaned in silence. She was tired of being treated poorly like this. She placed her face in her arms at the table and sighed. Sion cried again. She sobbed silently. She cried without carrying the teacher in front. She kept her cries silent because she didn't want anyone to hear her. Taehyung was looking at the window, but he gazed at Sion's figure several times. Taehyung sighed and glared at Sion. Taehyung can't help but think that Sion had cried so many times. From the first time she met her, she was crying too. For the first time, he met her, she was crying too. There are some mistakes in. Okay. Crying again, Taehyung frowned and shook his head, feeling annoyed. And honestly, he didn't know why. But what he knows is that he doesn't like people crying. It's fucking annoying. Taehyung folded his hands and lay his back on his chair. He looked at Soeun again and he noticed that her shoulders were rising up and down. Taehyung shook his head. Taehyunga, what's wrong? Jimin asked, worried. He looked at Taehyung that was suddenly started scratching his hair. It's nothing, Jimin, he answered. Jimin and he looked at Soeun. Jimin looked at who Taehyung was staring at. He jumped his eyebrows as soon as he looked at Soeun. It's just that someone keeps making me feel annoyed. Or was he annoyed with himself? Huh? What am I even? Taehyung frowned with himself. He shook his head and he tried not to think about it. Think much about it. And he tried not to think much about it. So this was the chapter 6. Let me drink some water. Okay. What do you think, guys? This was chapter 6. I feel like I think he should have gone there to save Soeun, but he just stood there. His feet weren't moving. I don't know why. Why was that happening? Does he have like some past with Jackson? What's wrong? Was he scared or I don't know. Let's find out what's happening. Okay. Chapter 7. The bell rang. It was time to go home. It's raining. Oh my god, it started to raining. Just 1 second. Can I mute it? How? Okay, I'm back. I hope you guys can hear me now. I'm actually having this Vicks candy in my mouth because my throat was like aching a little bit. So if my voice you hear like different, then that's the reason. And one more reason is that it's raining outside. So I hope you guys can hear my voice clearly. Okay, let's get back. The bell rang. It was time to go home. Soeun ran out of the class as soon as the bell rang. She went out from the back door because she didn't want to be seen by Jackson. Soeun was slightly trembling. Just please don't let me. Okay, just please don't let me bump on him. Oh God, Soeun whispered. She really didn't wanted another hit. She was hurt really bad. If Soeun was lucky, she won't be bumping Jackson again. She will be fine. She just need to get out from the back door as fast as possible. But sadly, lucky was not luck was not luck was not on her side for today. Lee Seon, Jackson called out for her. As soon as Seon heard Jackson's voice, her legs were getting faster. She was already fast walking at this point. Oi, Lee Seon! Jackson screamed out angrily. Seon gulped when she heard Jackson's footsteps getting near and louder. Suddenly, a hand grabbed on Seon's shoulder. Her back was slammed against the locker. Seon yelled in pain. By the end of the day, I won't be surprised if I have a bruise on my back. With a flash, Seon was pushed down to the floor. She didn't look up. Her gaze was stick to the ground. She was kneeling. I was calling you. Are you deaf? Jackson said calmly. But Seon knew that Jackson's blood was boiling right now. I uh, didn't you heard? I was calling you. See, Seon was right. A lot of students went to their place after they heard Jackson scream. Jackson liked this. He liked getting attention when he was bullying Seon. It was a proof to him that he was strong and Seon was weak, and people that surrounding him were the witnesses. Seon tried to stop the bullying, but what can she do? She couldn't fight back. As Jackson said, she is pathetic. He said that so many times. It was starting to make Seon think that she really is pathetic. Give me your notes, Jackson said, his hands stretching out. Seon didn't move. I said, give me your notes. He screamed louder this time and yanked Seon's bag, tossing everything out with one hand. Her things were falling on the ground. Her pencils, her books, the notes were all splattered on the ground. Stop it, Seon begged while picking up her things on the ground. She gritted her teeth as her hands were baled into fists when she heard laughing voices. These people are terrible. I don't know what surroundings she's been living, but that is really terrible. I hope nobody has to go through this kind of things. Seon was trying hard not to cry. What even am I doing? Soeun asked herself. She was angry with herself when her tears fell on her own again. Jackson looked at Soeun with a mocking smirk. See, this is why I called you pathetic. Crying so easily like a fucking baby when you're not even one. Jackson shaking his head. Why? Why can't I fight back? She said again in her mind. Jackson forcefully fisted Soeun's collar, making her stand up. Listen to me, stupid girl. He pushed Soeun's head using his fingers. Soeun looked down. You are so pathetic, he pushed again. This time a little bit harder. You are pathetic and that's how you will always be. Soeun didn't know from where she got the strength and courage to push Jackson away from her. Jackson stumbled back a bit and he looked at Soeun with a shocked expression. Ah, did you just push me? Jackson chuckled. Soeun took this chance to escape from him. You are scared, Jackson screamed when Soeun ran. Soeun acted like she didn't hear anything, but she could hear people whisper, and due to this, she gritted her teeth. You can run, but you can't hide, Jackson screamed as he laughed. Soeun trembled as she felt chills on her spine. Soeun tried to ignore Jackson's words. Most of it sounds like a threat. Jackson scares Soeun, really. He was like her worst nightmare. Soeun ran without caring who was in front. She was now at the school gate. Her backpack was not even zipped properly. But that was not important at all. Soeun had to run far away from Jackson. She went home. She wanted someone to comfort her, but her house was empty. She was alone. She never really had anyone there for her. In fact, nobody was even there for her. She sighed, took off her shoes, and went straight to her room to put her bag. After that, she took a quick shower. After like 25 minutes, she was finished. Soeun went to the kitchen, took out the sausages from the freezer, putting it into the microwave to defrost it. After that, she took a ramen cup, opening the lid and put in the hot water. After like a minute, the microwave let out a beep sound. Soeun took out the sausages from the microwave and sliced it into mouthful bites. She then put the sausages inside her ramen. Soeun hummed in content when she had the first bite of her ramen. Tasty. That's why she hummed. After she finished eating, she washed the dishes and threw away the ramen cup, drank a glass of water, went to bed. Soeun hoped tomorrow to be better day. Soeun sighed. What even is a word hope? Soeun was now in class. Teacher June was here. He must want to do something with. Okay, let's get in groups of 2, everyone. Soeun sighed. She hated being in groups. She knew damn well that no one wants to be with her, and she will be the one that ended up doing all the work. If you think that you will be able to choose your own partner, well, no. Mr. June smiled. We choose your partner. With his words, everyone groaned in despair. I mean, you have friends. When you have friends, you just want to make partner with them. But when teachers say you have to be partner with somebody else, then it's just like, Park Jimin with Kim Ji Hae. Okay, now Jimin is really happy. Those 5 words made Ji-hye squeal in happiness. Okay, now Ji-hye is happy and some people looking at her weirdly. Jackson Wang with Kang Min-joo. The teacher announced and the list goes on and on. Lee Seon and Seon's ears perked at her name. Mr. Jun glared at her for a bit and moved his eyes to Taehyung. Ah, him? No, it couldn't be right. No, it couldn't. Lee Seon and Kim Taehyung. Well, shit. After a long list of names, Mr. Jun closed his book. The two pair of partners will be sitting together for 1 semester. Mr. Jun said, looking at all the students. You can only change the seats after 1 semester, okay? 1. Mr. Jun pressed on his word. If your partner, or should I say, your deskmate, Mr. Jun chuckled. If your deskmate caused problems for you, you can meet me at my office. Okay, move your seats now. Mr. Jun clapped his hands, excited for the new changes of seats. Okay, I'm also really excited because like comments are like, let's act surprised, you all. I think this person was really expecting this to happen. Well, I wasn't expecting this will happen, but yes, it happened. So it's like good. I think it's going to have like better things coming. I want to see what happens, how they survive sitting together. Okay, let's move to the next chapter. Please comment, guys, if you like what's going on in this fanfic, because I think I'm kind of starting to like it because they are like sitting together now. I was really upset when Taehyung didn't go and help her, but I think she is, getting stronger the way she pushed Jackson. At least she is trying, and it's going to get better, guys. Okay. Stop poking me. Taehyung snapped at the girl from the other decks beside him. That why was she poking it? Okay. Stop laughing. That girl was beautiful indeed. But Taehyung didn't give any fucking fuck. Sorry, any flying fuck about her. What is flying fuck? I don't get it. Please look at me. The girl still poked his hand, hoping that he will pay attention to her. Taehyung frowned in disgust as he moved himself away from the desperate girl. Are there really this type of girls who poke other guys to, get their attention? I don't know. Okay. Seon, on the other hand, doesn't care about anything and proceed to make sketches on her book with her pencil. Don't fucking touch me. Taehyung snapped and glared at the girl. Wait, so he is sitting with Soeun. And how come the other girl is poking him? Are they sitting in like a row? Or she was sitting behind him or something? Like, how are they sitting? How come you can poke another person like from another bench if you're like, even if you are in the same row, you are like a distance? It just feels so funny. Don't fucking touch me. Taehyung snapped and glared at the girl. He slapped her hands away from him, and this made the girl huff in anger. Taehyung tilted his head to Soeun and stared at her. His eyes were glued on her figure that was drawing passionately without caring anything. Lee Soeun, Taehyung called her. Soeun's heart jumped for a bit. She expected that Taehyung will just ignore her and not talk to her for this whole semester. But to her surprise, Taehyung talked to her. She stopped drawing and gave Taehyung a questionable look. Yes? Let's do well together this semester, he said. And Soeun just nodded her head. Ah, and about the project, Taehyung said as he was rubbing his perfectly shaped eyebrows. Oh, you do it yourself, he said in a monotone. Well, and about the project, he's like, you do it yourself. Aren't they supposed to do this together? But he's like, you do it yourself. Sion's eyes went wide as she abandoned her drawing and her pencils. What? She asked in shock. You're not helping me? Why should I? Taehyung said, folding his arms, and gave her a cold stare. I don't care about it. Soeun wanted to grab out all Taehyung's hair and make him bald by them. But this group work project will add in your marks like 50%, Soeun said with a small voice. It's important, she said again. It's important for you, not for me, sweetheart. Oh, sweetheart. Oh, Taehyung said sarcastically. Sweetheart. See, if bad people, use word like sweetheart, darling, they really hate you. Not really hate you, but they are just trying to be nice by being extra nice so that you don't feel bad because they are not being that nice. Okay, continue. Soeun bit her lips and she looked away from Taehyung instantly. As she felt tears were filling up in her eyes. Why is she crying? Oh God. I mean, he didn't do anything to her. It's just that he said he won't do project with her. Are projects that difficult? I mean, yes, projects are difficult, but is it something that you can't do it yourself? She quickly rubbed her eyes with her long sleeves and looked at Taehyung. Fine, you do whatever you want. I don't care, she said, her voice cracking. Taehyung looked at Soeun as he felt his chest tighten. Soeun looked in front without caring Taehyung that kept glaring at her. After you have your work, please collect it and give it to me, Mr. June said. Who can collect the Who can collect the papers for me? He said, scanning the whole class. I'll do it, sir. Joo-hyun raised his hands and smiled. Good, Mr. Jun praised. After you all done your work, please hand it to Jo-hyun. Not what is his name? Jo-hyun. Jo-hyun, okay. Mr. Jun said as he grabbed all his things and went out of the class. All of the students went out almost instantly. Soeun was still at the class, making the project. She glared at Taehyung and realized he was in a deep sleep. Wow. Everyone, is this okay? I mean, sleeping like in the class. First Jimin was sleeping, then Soeun was sleeping, and now Taehyung was sleeping in the class. I think it's normal for anyone to sleep in the class. What a wonderful life you have, Soeun said sarcastically and continued writing the report neatly. She wanted to have full marks, but can she do that? It is a group work after all, and Soeun feel like it's an individual work. All of the students were done with their work except for Soeun since she had to do it all by herself. She yawned slightly and stretched her arms. The management on the building, she trailed as she was writing in the incredible speed since the time was almost over. Done. She sighed in relief and began to pack her things. She looked at Taehyung. He's still asleep, Soeun said softly by herself. Ah, I'm just gonna hand this to Juho. Ju. I'm not getting his name correctly, okay? Jo Hyun, and I'm gonna wake him up after that. She bashed out of the classroom. After she handed the work to Jo Hyun, she went back to class to grab her bag. When she arrived, she noticed that Taehyung was still asleep. After a while of debating with herself, wanting to wake Taehyung up or not, Soeun finally went to Taehyung's desk and carefully shook him. Kim Taehyung, she called, and Taehyung frowned a little, but his eyes were still closed tight. Wake up, Soeun said, shaking him a little harder. Taehyung groaned as his eyes are opening. Wake up, school time is over, Soeun said. She grabbed her backpack and went out of the class. Taehyung rubbed his eyes and looked at Soeun that was running out of the class with full speed. What the hell was that? Taehyung thought. Taehyung yawned again and went out the class. He was sure that Jimin was waiting for him at the school gate. Jimin was there with his girlfriend Jihye. Taehyung can see it from afar that the two were flirting. Jimin was smirking and Jihye was blushing hard. Her cheeks were in deep red. Since this makes Taehyung roll his eyes. Seeing this makes Taehyung roll his eyes. Okay, I I don't know if you can see someone blushing from this far. Like the cheeks were deep red. I mean, you can understand by the body language that they are blushing, but how can you see the red cheeks? Okay, let me change my. So, you guys, I just changed my position. Let's see how it works. Does my voice becomes nicer? Does my voice sounds nicer or what? Okay, let's continue reading. Hmm, where was huh? Taehyung rolled his eyes. Jiminy, Taehyung called, making Jimin and Jihae looked at him. Jihae's eyes were sparkling as she looked at Taehyung. Taehyung didn't give her a single glance. Let's go, Taehyung said. Oh yeah, let's go. Jimin kissed Jihae's cheeks goodbye. You are late, Jimin stated the obvious. Where were you? Jimin asked. Taehyung never late went out of class after the class was done. This was the first time. I slept at the class, and that girl, Lee Soeun, woke me up. Taehyung put his hand in his pockets. Jimin gasped. That cutie! Jimin asked, smiling. Wait, you didn't let her do all the project alone while you sleep, right? Jimin asked again, this time in disbelief. I guess, Taehyung replied. Didn't look at his friend. I don't care about the group work, Taehyung said, looking at his phone. But you shouldn't do that to her, Taehyung, Jimin said in low voice. He felt pity to Soeun. She had to do all the projects worth of two people alone. As I said, I don't care, Jimin. Taehyung gritted his teeth. I don't care about her. Okay, so he doesn't care about her. I don't know what's going on. When are they going to start liking each other? Hmm. Let's go to the second part. Oh, sorry. What part was it? Hmm. 8. So this was the 8th part. Do you think I should read the 9th chapter as well? Let's see. Yeah, everyone is like, let's see. Okay. I feel like I should read the 9th chapter. So let's continue. I'm getting interested now, guys. As the nice things are coming. I mean, as we appeared. Well, he's not like really into her yet, but things can, turn good. So, yeah. I hope you guys can hear me clearly. That's the one thing that I'm really worried about. Soeun spent all night finishing the notes. She wanted to get the scholarship as she was really short on money. She really need to work hard on her studies to get a scholarship. Soeun yawned and got up from her bed. She went to the mirror and looked at her face. Ew! She got fading bruises at her cheek. It's probably because of Jackson. She felt a tear escaping from her eyes, but she quickly wiped it off. Let's just focus on getting the scholarship now, she encouraged herself. She let out a breath and went to get ready for school. She wore her uniform and went out of her house. She kept her spectacles in her hands. Actually, Sion's eyesight was not that bad, but she had to use it for school since she always squinted her eyes when looking at the front while the teacher was teaching. Soeun walked to school with her earphones plugged in her ears. It's like her daily routine. Namjoon was at his car. His driver drives them to school every day. Inside the car, it was pretty hectic as there were 7 boys in one car. Wait, so you're telling me that they drive the one car and they go to the school? They were all jamming to Big Bang's Bang Bang Bang, except for Taehyung. He was at the back seat, at the left corner, had earphones plugged in his ears. His eyes were closed. Namjoon was very rich, ooh, but he never showed it to anyone at school. Only a few people knows that he's rich. Well, his father owns one of the most biggest company in Korea. Jimin was singing and suddenly his eyes saw Seon outside the car. Wait, stop the car, he yelled to the driver. Mr. Yin stopped instantly, making all of them jump to the front. Sukjin even knocked his head at the seat front. Ow! He whined, rubbing his head. Namjoon quickly rushed to Jin and gently rubbed his head. Wait, what? Okay, yeah. So Sukjin bumped his head in front, okay, on the front seat. Namjoon quickly went and rubbed his head. What the hell, Jimin? He said as his hands was still rubbing Jin's head, hoping it will make the pain fade. It's cutie, Jimin said, rushing to the door, opening it. Jimin saw Seon and she had her earphones plugged in her ears. Jimin smiled. Jimin ran as fast as he could so he could catch up with Seon. Cutie! Jimin shouted, not caring when people around him giving him a judging look. Jimin frowned when Seon didn't turn around. Jimin thought she couldn't hear him, so he ran more faster and tapped Seon's shoulder. Seon immediately turned around and gave him a confused face. Jimin was smiling at Seon, so she removed one of her earpiece from her ear so she can hear what Jimin was gonna say. Okay, guys, I feel like there is going to be the triangle, the love story triangle between Seon, Jimin, and Taeyong. Cutie, Jimin climbed, Climed, climbed. I don't know what this means. Okay. And Seon looked at him weirdly, frowning. She looked around and no one was near her except for Jimin. Me? Seon pointed to herself. Jimin nodded, smiling. Okay, smiling a lot. My name is not Cutie, Seon answered, and she was about to walk away, but Jimin beat her to it. Wait, he said, and Seon looked at him weirdly. All the boys followed Jimin and they are now behind him. Most of them annoyed with Jimin because he suddenly stopped the car. I swear to God, Jimin, you hurt Jin Hyung's head. Namjoon threatened Jimin but stopped when he saw Seon was there standing with them. Oh, hello, who is this? He said sweetly. He smiled, showing his famous dimples. Oh God. Okay. Okay, let me just um, crunch my candy and I will continue. Okay. So he smiled, showing his famous dimple. Namjoon was known as the Prince Charming, a perfect one at that. Okay, he is a Prince Charming for real. Um, I am Lee Seon, she said, bowing at Namjoon. Ah, you are so cute and short. Namjoon laughed and rubbed her head like a child. He likes cute and short things for sure, yes. Seon flinched at Namjoon's touch. Namjoon quickly removed his hand from Seon's head when he saw this. I'm sorry. What do you guys want from me? Seon asked timidly. She never got used on having too many boys with her at before, and it was scaring her. I just wanted to say hi, Jimin said as she flashed Seon. His eyes smiled. Oh my god. Now I understand why people read so many fanfics. This is the reason. They are like famous dimples and I smiles over here. So, oh my god. Ah, can we give you a ride to school? Jimin asked, making Sion blinked. We have one free spot. What? Why? Sion's words were cut by Jimin. He was not going to let Sion go. They have to get they have to get to know about Sion. Let's hurry up, he said. Yeah, just come with us, Jin said softly. We are not bad people, Jin smiled. Of course you're not bad people. Oh my god. If someone asks me okay, if BTS asks me to get in the car, I will jump into it. Right. Right. That moment, like not even a second, just he said and I'm yes, let's go. That makes it more suspicious. When some strangers are trying to be friendly with you at first, and then they are like, yeah, come on, join join us, and then they are like, we are not bad people. that's that's really suspicious. We are going to school. Let's go together, Jin said, already pushing Sion to Namjoon's car. Jimin insisted Seon to sit with him. Seon's heart was beating so fast. Her head was making thousands of scenarios. Seon was so uncomfortable. One second she was walking alone. One second she was in a car with 7 boys that go in the same school as her, plus a driver. So it's 8 boys in the car with Seon. Seon, come sit with me, Jin said, and Seon gave him a frightened look. This girl is so much scared of Jin. Why? I mean, was it looking scary? I mean, I didn't find it scary. If I was in place, I would never find Jin scary. Jin saw her expressions, so he smiled softly. I'm the only one that has an empty seat here. I'll give you space and I'll distance myself. Jin stabbed the space beside him. Okay, he's such a gentleman. He ah in real life also he's such a nice person. Uh, she's actually scared because she was never, you know, been with boys before, so she's like why they are suddenly trying to be friendly, and it's always like someone is trying to be friendly with you, then they have some hidden intentions which are mostly bad intentions. So yeah, Sion looked at the empty seat. She looked at the car door and it was already closed. Cold sweats were forming on her forehead. It was awkward to crouch in the car, so Seon just went beside Jin. She placed her bag beside her, making a barrier between her and Jin because she didn't know him. Hmm, that was a nice move. Seon didn't even process everything and she was in stranger's car. What do they want from her? My god, I'm scared. Soon gulped down her saliva. Well, you know, most men get offended. I mean, when girls act like they don't trust them. But actually, she is right on her side, because you can't just be friendly with, girls and like be close to them directly. But I mean, they are still like, Jin is making sure that she's comfortable. Sion didn't even process everything, and she was in stranger's car. Okay, decided. Sion gulped down her saliva. Let me introduce all the boys here, okay? Jin talked as if he was talking to a child. Sion looked at him and she just nodded. All right. Jin took a deep breath. We are all in a boy group called BTS, Jin said. I'm sure you have heard it, right? Jin asked, waiting to confirm. Sion thought for a bit. The school band? She asked, and Jin nodded. I think you didn't know our names except for Jin and Taehyung, right? Since we are your seniors, we expect we accept for Jungkooki. Okay, so Jungkook is younger than Seon. Yeah, because if Jimin and Taehyung are together with Seon, then Jungkook is younger. Jin added again, and Seon nodded. This is Namjoon. He pointed to Namjoon as he gave him a smile. Oh, he was guy that rubbed her hair just now. Seon observed his smile. Dimples, she thought. Hi, Namjoon said with a soft voice and smiled widely to Seon. Now he's like soft. Hi, beautiful dimples. This, Jin pointed to the sleeping boy. Hey, Yoongi, wake up. He slapped his stomach, making the boy jump on his seat. He groaned and opened his eyes to meet Seon. Okay, so when they ran after her to bring her to their car, I think that time also Yoongi was sleeping. This is Yoongi, Min Yoongi. In our band, his stage name is Suga. Yoongi looked at Seon with his sleepy face. Seon just nodded. And this, hello, I'm your hope, hello, I'm your hope. I am your hope, I am your angel. I am J Hope. Angel? Wasn't it like, I'm your hope, you're my hope, I'm J Hope? It's like, I'm your hope, I'm your angel, I'm J Hope. I think they changed it. But anyways, he screamed suddenly, making Seon look look at him with wide eyes. Jin chucked. There you have it. He's Hosok, Jung Hosok. He already said his stage name. Jin said, smiling. So he said, I'm your hope, okay? J Hope. And at the back one, Jin pointed the boy with his lips. Eh? Pointed the boy with his lips. He is Jeon Jungkook, and he is the youngest here, so that makes him your junior. Jin smiled. Seon take a look at Jungkook, and he gave her his bunny smile. And lastly, Jin said, rubbing his eyes, I'm Sukjin, Kim Sukjin, but call me Jin. I'm the most handsome in this group, and I'm the oldest here. Seon just smiled awkwardly. She didn't answer. Seona, let's be friends for now, okay? Jin smiled brightly. Seon signed on her seat. What's gonna happen now? she she is still worried that something is going to happen, even though Jin said like, let's be friends from now on. And I mean, yeah, it's really hard to believe that, you know, some strangers are going to be your friends and you're going to be safe with them. The comments are like, what the flower? What? Imagine going somewhere and these guys come and ask you for the ride with them. Okay, I want that. I really want that. But they don't. They are never going to ride in India. Like, I should go to Korea really fast so that I can, you know, meet them, get picked up by them, like inviting, get invited to their car. There is no chance that this is ever going to happen, even if I'm in Korea. Anyways, let's continue reading. Why did we went down here and not at the front of the school? Soeun asked, still a bit scared, but they seemed cool. So Soeun brushed away the feeling. Honestly, it's been a long time since Soeun had someone to talk to. These 7 boys that suddenly appear in her life out of nowhere maybe will make a change of her life into a massive turn. Sion didn't know that it will be a good turn or bad turn, honestly. Nam Junyoung didn't want anyone know. Ah? Nam Junyoung didn't want anyone to know that he actually rides an expensive car to school, Jungkook said. Why? Seon jumped her eyebrows. Because I don't want girls and boys get close to me for money, Namjoon explained. Seon nodded in understanding. Ah, keep this as your little secret, okay? Namjoon smirked and winked, placing his index finger on his lips. Okay, Sion blushed. Okay. She walked at the back, following them. Because even if she wanted to run, she will get lost. She didn't know about this place, to be honest. She didn't know that there was a shortcut to school. There were many woods and rocks here, making it hard to walk. Sion even stumbled a couple of times, but the boys didn't. Maybe because they got used to it. Seon then saw the rock in front of her and she almost fell forward, but thank goodness a strong hand catched her. Be careful, Young said in cold tone. Why are you so clumsy? He said, annoyed. So sorry, she said as her tears went down to her cheeks. She quickly rubbed the cheeks with the back of her hand, but Yoongi saw her. Oh my god, why are you crying? Yoongi asked worriedly. Jin quickly went to her side. Jin glared at Taehyung. Why are you so mean? Jin snapped roughly at Taehyung, sending him a death glare. Oh, see, this is how I see Jin, okay? This is how Jin is in my mind, and they have put the Jin exactly like that. Even I was going to make something like that. I have already wrote this thing. I just have to edit it and put it. Guys, you're gonna see it. I'm saying this almost every day. Like the DJ fanfic, the third part is going to come. So yes, so please watch it. That's my own fanfic. Okay, that's what is written by me. I wrote that fanfic. It's not someone else's. Okay, so when it comes out, then please go and watch it. Yeah, end of the what promotion. Okay, let's continue this. Yoongi glared at Taeyong. Kim Taeyong, what did you do to her? Yoongi asked roughly like a protective brother. I didn't do anything, Taeyong defended himself. I just told her to be careful and I said she's clumsy, he said again. Then why is she crying? Hosok put in. His voice was rough. How did Taeyong made a girl cry? I don't know, Taeyong said with a shocked face. He was in a big panic mood. He honestly thought he didn't do anything to make Soeun cry. Soeun rubbed her tears with her sleeves and looked at the boys that were close to arguing. It's okay, she convinced them. Her voice was a little hoarse. Taehyung didn't do anything. It's just I cried to the slightest things, she explained. All the boys looked at her. It's not his fault that I suddenly cry. It's me, Soeun said again. I cried to the slightest things because I'm a girl, of course. She laughed nervously. She gulped and Jimin frowned at her. That sounds a bit sexist. Sion blinked, looking at Jimin. I didn't mean it like that. Jimin nodded as he gave Sion a thumbs up. No, it's okay. Jimin smiled widely. It's understandable, Jungkook said as he patted Sion's head. She frowned her eyebrows. It's cute. Eh? What? Wait. So Jimin was giving her thumbs up and smiled widely. And then Jungkook was like patting her head, even though he's younger than her. Nuna. He's patting Nuna's head and saying it's understandable. She frowned her eyebrows. And who said it's cute, by the way? I don't get it. Who said it's cute? Now she's saying, I'm older than you, Jungkook. Soeun said as she looked at Jungkook that was much taller than her. Don't do that to people that is older than you. Stop lying. Do you even realize? Do you even realize how short you are? Jungkook teased. Soeun looked at him as her eyes started watering again. Oh my god, she's gonna cry again. काय झालं? त्याचं असणार ना. Just one moment, guys. Okay, so where were we? Okay, Jungkook was like, stop lying. Do you ever realize how short you are? Jungkook teased. Soeun looked at him as her eyes started watering again, but she was quick to blink it off. She huffed and glared at Jungkook. She lightly hit Jungkook's arm. I'm I'm still older than you, Soeun deadpanned. What does that mean, dead deadpan. I don't know. I'm at the same age as Jimin and Taehyung, she stated. Jungkook just nodded with his bunny smile, still stays on his face. Holy, she's feisty. I. Okay, I think I'm gonna go and search the meanings. Hmm. First, deadpan. What does deadpan mean? Say something amusing while affecting a serious manner. Hmm? Okay.
Deadpan.
Deadpan. And feisty.
Feisty.
Feisty. Person, typically one who is relatively small, determined and contagious. Touchy and aggressive. Okay, touchy and aggressive. She's touchy and aggressive. Eh, why is it not opening? Don't tell me it's gone. What's wrong with my mom's phone? Why is it always like this? It's gone, guys. What chapter was I reading? This is so annoying. So annoying. Let me go. Every time, that's why I think I'm gonna just stop going. This doesn't work in my mom's phone. It's just so irritating. What chapter was I reading? I think it was 9th chapter. Let's focus on Namjoon is rich. Jimin is smiling. Okay, cutie. Dimple. Okay. 10th chapter. I'm so sorry, guys, if this is annoying. Okay. Found it. Holy shit, she's feisty, Yoongi said. I like it. He winked and sent her a flying kiss. Soeun looked at Yoongi weirdly. Wait. So this is not Yoongi thing. Or this is what Jin does. I can't imagine Yoongi doing it. I haven't really saw him doing it. I want to see him. Has he done it? Like, I don't remember. Maybe I'll go and search. Yoongi sending flying kisses. Soeun looked at Yoongi weirdly. Let's just go, hurry. Taehyung looked at his watch. We got 20 minutes before class starts, he said. But Taehyung, that's a lot of time, Jimin said, but got cut off by Soeun. I have to read my notes before the class starts, she said, making all of them looking at her. Hard working, Yoongi said, smirking. My style. He winked at Soeun. Oh my god, but wait, I just said this is. I thought it was going to have like a triangle love story, but I feel like it's going to be like what? What do you call the 8 people love story? Octagon. Octagon? 8 people? Hmm. I don't know what you guys think. Well, this is a octagon love story, anyways. Like BTS and ARMY, we have that. So, okay, let's just go. Where was I? Jimin, cut off, and hardworking. Okay, my style. He winked at Soeun. Soeun looked at Yoongi weirdly again. I would also looked at him weirdly. If someone say this kind of things like open out loud, like they are my style, then it's really weird. Stop that, Taehyung said with his deep, cold voice. She doesn't like it. How did you know? Yoongi asked. Who can resist me? I'm deadly attractive. What if someone sue me for, for it? Yes, Yoongi, you are, he said again, flipping his hair. Oh my god, why he's so flirty? I haven't seen him that flirty. He's mostly like a person like really cold. Like I think like they just switched their souls with Taehyung and Taehyung and Suga. I think they both switched their souls. Maybe that's why. Anyways, let's just go on. Like flipping his hair was like really okay. Concentrate. What even Soeun thought as she looked at Yoongi. What? Girl, don't think like that. He is attractive. Not us. We won't sue you, Taehyung replied as the boy chuckled. Hosok was laughing while clapping his hands like a seal. I'm like, Hosok like a seal. Soeun wanted to go close with Jin, even if she was uncomfortable, but Jin has his warm, friendly aura. That's true. All the other guys seem weird rather than Jim, I guess. Sadly, Jin was already in front with Namjoon, walking together. With a heavy sigh, she went to walk alone. It's not like she's not used to it. She was walking slowly, carefully, so she won't fall. But she tripped on a rock. Soon let out a small yelp, waiting for the pain to come. Eh? Waiting for the pain to come. But the pain never came because Taehyung had grabbed the back of her uniform, making her stumble backward to Taehyung's chest. Oh god, this is like he grabbed her and pushed her back to his chest. Taehyung pushed Soeun away roughly from him, but his hands were still on Soeun's clothes, grabbing them so she will not fall. You are really annoying. Can't you be careful? He gritted his teeth and glared at Soeun. Soeun looked down and Taehyung grabbed Soeun's hand, giving her spectacles back. You left it in the car earlier, he said with his blank face. Soeun looked at him for a bit. Thank you, Kim Taehyung. Soeun wore her glasses and began walking, but her legs were still wobbly. Soeun heard an annoying groan. Here, hold my hand. He's like, here, hold my hand. Let's walk together now so you don't fall, because it's really stressful to always pick you up to save you from falling. Just hold my hand. He's been spending way too much time with Jin. Who? He's been spending way too much time with Jin. He's on crack, y'all. Who are you talking about? Are you talking about Namjoon? The comments, guys. I'm reading the comments. He's been spending way too much time with Jin. What does ISTG means? I don't understand this code language. What this language? Uh, what does ISTG means? I don't know. He's on crack, you all. Who are you talking about? The comment person? I don't know. The person who commented didn't wrote anything else, so I don't know. So yes, now we are reading chapter 11. Soeun went separate ways as soon as they arrived at the school gate. The boys really wanted to go together with her, but she doesn't like attentions and she hates getting attentions. The first thing she had in her mind as soon as she arrived at the school gate was to put some distance between her and the boys to avoid unnecessary attentions. Hosok went to catch up with her when he saw her when he saw she was already far in front. He ran fast as if he was in the Olympics, resulting students there looking at his direction. Siona, he shouted Sion's name, making her jump in surprise. Sion bit her lip in disappointment, but she just decided to stop and wait for him because they did give her a ride to school. Why did you go so fast? Hosok asked, doing agyo. Okay, I every time they write something like this, I'm kind of imagining, and this makes me like, oh my god, my heart, oh, like that. Sion gave him with a questioning look. Yes, of course. If someone suddenly started acting in front of you, that's going to, it's normal, that's going to happen. Let's go together. We will drop you off, Namjoon piped in. Seon was about to respond, but she looked at the ground as soon as she noticed the girls were giving her jealous glares. Thank you, but it's okay. I can go alone. You guys don't have to drop me off. Thank you for giving me a ride, she said slowly and ran away, leaving the boys calling her name. Seon went to her seat and sat down. It was slightly uncomfortable with all the stares she was getting from all the students in her class. She was reading her notes while trying hard to ignore all the whispers and stares she got from her classmates. Suddenly, Sion felt like she became the celebrity of the school. It's scary. The glares, the stares, and the whispers. Sion sighed and just proceeded on reading her book. Hey, loser, Sion heard Jackson's voice, but she didn't dare to look up. She continued reading her book and acted as if Jackson didn't exist. You're ignoring me? Jackson pressed on his words. He groaned and punched Sion's table, making her flinch. Who are you to ignore me? He screamed and glared at her. Jackson was burning holes at Sion, but Sion still didn't want to look at him. She tried to focus on the words in her book. Jackson was obviously angry. His chest was going in up and down motion. He grabbed Sion's book and looked at the cover. This book is too boring. Don't you think it's better if you put some pattern in it? Jackson said while putting a fake innocent look. He his hand went to his pocket and he pulled out a pair of scissors. That's really horrible. He has scissors in his pocket. Sion's eyes widened. She wanted to fight back, but she didn't want to experience the extreme pain that she had in her stomach ever again. She knows every time she protests, Jackson will hit her. Every damn time. So Sion just kept silent, looking down her desk while trying to hold her tears back, although it sounded stupid. Sion was actually hoping an angel to come and save her. These notes do need some pattern, Jackson said, cutting the book and ripping it into pieces. Cry, Jackson smirked. Soeun tried hard to hold her tears. She wasn't going to give what this pastor wants. Jackson, on the other hand, was frustrated with her because she wasn't crying. Things wasn't going like how he planned it to be. Oh my god, some people just enjoy, like people in pain, like they are crying or they are hurt or their moans, like painful moans, they just enjoy this. Terrible, terrible person. Jackson, why are you doing this? And cutting the book, yaar, why are you cutting the book? That's really bad. Jackson, on the other hand, was frustrated with her because she wasn't crying. Things wasn't going like how he planned it to be. Jackson grabbed Sion's shirt, slightly smirking. I know you are scared, Sion. You're just trying to be strong, which you are not, Jackson said, grabbing her hair, this time making her whimpered in pain. Students never dared to touch Jackson when he was hurting the poor girl, but they could. They couldn't. They wouldn't even dare. No, no. But they could. They wouldn't even care. Such emotionless people, yeah. How come they don't even care about some person getting hit this bad? Jackson is powerful. Even some teachers can't fight him. He got money and his father was rich. Ah, shit. I hate it. The I hate Jackson from the first chapter. I don't think he's going to turn out to be some nice. As I said that I wish he would turn into a nice person, but I don't think he's going to. What the fuck are you doing? Jimin asked angrily when he saw Jackson was fisting Sion's hair. Jimin ran to him and grabbed his hand that was fisted at Sion's hair. Let go of her, you fucker, Jimin said, threatening him. Jackson just chuckled darkly. Jimin was angry when Jackson didn't even move his hand off Sion's hair. Bangtan members are now standing behind of Jimin. They stormed into Jimin's class because he was loud. Let her go, Jackson Wang, Namjoon said, glaring at him. Namjoon smirked when Jackson wasn't moving. Namjoon leaned close to Jackson's ear to whisper to him. I said, let her fucking go, or else I will do something to your dad's shitty company. Do you want him to go bankrupt? Do you want to fucking rot in the streets? Jackson's face went pale. He blinked, he gulped and forced out a laugh. He then let out a dark chuckle and looking at all of them with an amused face. What is this? You guys actually care about this pathetic girl? The only pathetic one here is you, Jimin said, glaring at Jackson. Jackson scoffed and threw Soeun on the ground. Soeun yelled. I let her go, Jackson said with a mocking voice. Satisfied? You little piece of shit. Yoongi was about to hit Jackson. His hands were already at Jackson's collar. His actions were stopped by Jungkook. Don't! The bunny-faced boy glared at Jackson. His dumbass still has that annoying smirk on his face. Don't dirty your hands with this kind of people. Taehyung grabbed Soeun's shoulder, helping her to stand up. She was crying again, and Taehyung felt annoyed. But then again, it's a bit understandable. Are you okay? Taehyung asked with a cold tone. Soeun nodded. Why are you helping her? Leave her alone. She's nobody. Let her be. Why would you care about her? All girls were gathering around the band boys curiously developed when they helped the girl that is nobody. The boys glared at the girls as soon as they said that. Nobody? Hosok said with a sarcastic tone. Well, she maybe is nobody to you, but she is going to be somebody to us. Curses and death stares were sent to Soeun as soon as Hosok said that. Soeun looked down as she felt herself shrinking. The whispers and the looks, the glares, the nasty looks. Soeun wanted to run and disappear. Soeun couldn't take it anymore. She pushed the boys and ran as fast as she could to get away from this place. Everything was suffocating. Soeun was afraid of the consequences of being close to the boys. Maybe it's better if she didn't get close to the boys at all. After all, she's nobody. Oh my god, the chapter is really depressing. It ended in a depressed way. This is army life. Fucking Taehyung. We want Namjoon. No, the comments are like, fuck Taehyung. We want Namjoon. I'm fucking loving this. Okay. Yeah, I also like this. So this is like really good. Like it's going the way it's going. I just read 11th chapter 11, so I think I'm gonna end this. I wanna continue, but I think this much is enough for today. So yes, let's just end this live and see you guys later. uh so I really like the fanfic, so I probably won't be asking you guys if I should continue this, because I think I'm definitely going to continue. And if I get stuck over some chapters, some parts that I didn't enjoy, then I will ask you guys if you like to continue me. Okay, so see you in the next part, the fourth part, where I'll be reading chapter 12. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. See you guys, have fun. Bye bye. Saranghe, burahe.